First things first, Adna. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are
Okay.
you?
All right, thank
Yeah.
you.
Cool.
So, before we talk about the music you've been making lately, I'd like to go back to the beginning.
Yeah,
Do you remember the first album you ever bought?
I do.
And it is?
It was. Don't judge me, but it's good. It's a good record. I would. It's a Christina Aguilera, like her first record. Yeah.
And if you go back to the time, do you remember why Christina Aguilera?
No, it wasn't really that I listened to
Okay.
her. It was just I don't know why I bought it, but it was the first one.
Would you say it's still a good record? So, in
Yeah, but-
hindsight, looking back, what could you find in it?
I don't know. I was more into like punk-ish music when I was younger, so it's very like far away from that. But I mean, an amazing voice, obviously, and she's cool.
And so I imagine you were quite young when you bought this album.
Yes.
Were you singing already?
Yeah, I've been singing since I was 10, maybe.
Okay.
So yeah.
What made you sing?
I don't know. I just like spontaneously kind of applied for a music school when I was 10 because I wanted to change schools. So it was really like, yeah, that's the reason why I started.
So there wasn't really that I want to pursue music or?
No, it was like later on that I found it.
So is it at this music school then that you kind of developed your love for music and?
Kind of, yes. Or I studied like theory and choir singing, but then I went to like high school, music high school, and then something happened. I saw something else behind the theory, I think.
And this is going to be impossible, but what did you see? What could you find in music?
I don't know, a way of expressing myself, because I've never been. I'm kind of awkward with words, usually like all over the place and nowhere at the same time. So I just felt like I could finally express myself and say things.
So at that time, were you writing your thoughts down already, or were you?
Yeah, I've been writing like diaries since I was kind of small.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have you ever, maybe not from when you were very young, but have you, when you started to write songs, did you go back and then look at what you wrote?
Yeah, sometimes, but I try not doing it.
Well, why not?
I don't know, it's a bit awkward.
But you also mentioned, the punk music that you kind of. So when was it? Was this at musical high school?
Yeah, it was when I was maybe like 14, 15.
Okay.
I started, or I heard Joy Division and like, it's not punk, but yeah, ish.
Right.
And a Swedish band called Broder Daniel. And when I heard them, I was like, oh, I'm home.
Okay. So that's when you started making music yourself as well, or were you already making music at that point?
Yeah, maybe like, I started at 15, 16. Yeah.
And you mentioned the way of expressing yourself. So do you remember the first song that you wrote?
It's because I had to apply for this high school with my own song. So I wrote a song called "The Corner of My Heart." That's also the first song I released on Spotify.
Okay.
So but it's not good.
Because looking back now, you've released a couple of albums. So can you see the development of yourself? Can you hear that?
Yeah, of course. I think a lot of things happen all the time, and also because I'm 22, almost 23 now. And the first record I did it when I was 17. So obviously, like a lot of years.
Sure. So it is quite interesting, because how do you look back at night then, at the album?
I don't know, it's just like blurry.
Oh, really?
No, but I don't know, I was at high school and I didn't really know anything, and I didn't have any experience of anything, and but yeah, it was the first thing I did, so I'm also happy, of course.
Mm. But so the songs then, they are very, in a way, then self-reflective. So, was it tough to write that album, to get those songs out?
In a weird way, no,
Okay.
because I wasn't really analyzing it too
Okay.
much. I think I'm analyzing more now than before, which is good also, of course. But yeah.
Well, you have a song now mentioning analyzing, which is called Overthinking.
Yeah.
So what was the starting point of that track?
It was almost 2 years ago.
Okay.
It was or with the refugee situation that's also now, but it was a lot 2 years ago, and I have Bosnian background.
Okay.
My parents were also refugees, and I don't know, I was just like inspired by all of that in different ways, I don't know, and I felt the urge to, I don't know, express something. I didn't know what, I was just feeling a lot of things, so that's the starting point of Overthinking.
But then I believe, well, that I might be wrong in this, but for your first two albums, I'd say you were looking more inward. So with a song like this, you're looking more outward. Is that a fair?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I haven't thought about it myself, but absolutely.
So okay, but so
No,
you don't know
really
why that?
No, I guess I don't know. I've been just on the newer record. I've been trying to deal a lot with my background. I don't know, and maybe you have to look at things that are around you as well to get the things that are inside as well. So yeah.
What triggered that? That you're thinking more about your background, and was there something that triggered that, or just gradual?
I don't know. Yes and no. As I said, like Bosnian background, but I'm born and grew up in Sweden, and now I live in Berlin since 3 years. I know I've just been confused, I think, like everybody else, and just like felt that I've been stuck in between two worlds.
Sure.
So I've been wanting to find something that's my own.
And this might be difficult to answer, but I think the album Closure is the new album. Did it help you find something of your own?
Yeah, that's the thing. I didn't have the title of the record until I wrote the last song, the title track, and that's when I really felt like I felt the closure. Kind of. It's really weird, but so yeah, I definitely feel like I've had a closure in some way.
And is that in terms of where you feel at home? Because like you say, you now are based in Berlin, so.
I don't know. I think it's different things on different levels, of course, and personal levels also, and.
Musically, then, because well, this is I think from an interview from a while ago, but you talked about your music and called it soft and melancholy. So is your mood is your music very reflective of your mood? Yeah,
I think so. Or I don't know. I think how to put it? No, but I think I believe that everyone has like a dark place inside, but just that some are maybe more aware of it than other people, and I like making music is my way of dealing with it, so I don't feel the urge to write happy songs because I express happiness with my friends and yeah, whatever. So, but this darkness, that's something you maybe not like express in this, like, or get to express. The same, if you get what I mean.
No, yeah, definitely. So this is a little bit of a mean question after this one. But what song on Closure was the most difficult for you? Because you say that this you like to go to this darker place to kind of get it out. So
yeah, which one that was the most difficult to do?
Yeah, to kind of maybe write the words for, or maybe even just get the music. Or
There's a song called If.
Mm.
That's definitely, it took me 2 years
Okay.
to finish it, which has never happened before.
Okay.
With any songs, I usually write them in just a few hours.
Okay.
But it took me, 2 years from like the first melody to the final production.
So what was different about this song?
I don't know, I just had a, 1.5 years ago or something, I had a idea or something, and I could really hear it like at night, or one night I could really hear it clearly in my head. But then it took me a really long time to just make or create it. I just needed the time.
And if you don't want to talk about it, obviously you don't have to. But if what for you is started the song, or is the song about?
I don't know. It was it was one night when I was in I was gonna sleep, or I was supposed to sleep, at least. And this melody was just in my head, kind of. But it's a lot about nature, or at least I'm using the nature as a metaphor for something else.
And well, you mentioned the places where you have this Bosnian background. You've lived in Sweden, or you grew up in Sweden now. But does your surroundings, where you are when you write, does that have an effect on what comes out?
Yeah. I think I'm always inspired by something. I think there's always something to hear or see or experience, no matter where you are. But I mean, definitely I prefer the night.
Okay. So usually when you write, it's dark out and.
Yeah, where the nature is also really nice.
I find it interesting because especially when you first started writing songs, was it difficult for you to kind of show them to other people?
Yeah. Yeah, it was really difficult.
How did you deal with it then? How did you kind of get over that?
To be honest, I don't know if I've gotten over it yet.
Okay.
No, but I don't know. It just happened, I think.
And then is the same then true for performing live?
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you went on stage?
Yeah, I think it was some kind of school thing.
Okay.
And we were supposed to sing something in groups, but we had solo parts. Yeah.
But now then, because you've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
So is that still the same feeling when you go on stage of nerves and then? Because obviously, even though you might, like you say, you might not feel completely comfortable on stage, but you still do it. So there is a drive to do it. So what?
Of course, I mean, I'm obviously more familiar with the situation now than I was 4 or 5 years ago. But I guess it's good to be nervous. Of course, it means you care about what you do, and usually after the show I've forgotten about the feelings I had before. Okay. I'm just next stop in my head. So I don't know, it's difficult being nervous, but it's also good. And I'd rather be nervous than not being it.
Right. You need to feel something if it.
Yeah, I think so. It's important to me, I guess. And it's a weird situation because I'm very awkward in front of people, and I don't feel comfortable when everybody is listening to me. But it's also a very beautiful thing, and to share those things.
Last question then. What is one of your best memories of being on stage?
Oh, brain freeze. Again.
Are there certain elements, or maybe a song that you prefer, or that you like that goes over well?
I have a song called Night, and I usually play it and like in the start, and I don't know, it's just a nice. It creates an atmosphere, I guess, and I always get in the mood.
Right.
And yeah.
And then I believe that's from the first album then.
Yes.
So, which obviously the songs were written a while ago. When you play that song, do you go back to that emotion or that feeling of that first song, of that time?
Sometimes yes, but sometimes there are new feelings and new emotions that can be connected to it.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.